What's going on, family? It's your brother Lawrence here. It's another episode of Watch God Work, where we look to give you inspiration and practical wisdom to live a good life, a godly life. Giving somewhat of a bonus episode, but not bonus in the positive sense. I heard news of Henry Ruggs III, and you probably have heard the news that has been around. Gentleman is a former wide receiver of the Las Vegas Raiders, and was driving under the influence, going about 156 miles per hour. And then unfortunately, it ended in a fatal crash. By the grace of God, he survived, and I believe a significant other. But unfortunately, innocent young lady and her dog perished in the aftermath. I remember just hearing the story and hearing about it, and just my stomach turned. And please, if you're here for me to be just bashing on him, this is not what this is for. But part of the reason I actually want to discuss this is because it sent chills through my spine, and because it reminded me that one decision could change the course of your life. One decision, one simple decision. And even if you think about just driving under influence, I think people would naturally put that as some extreme. Just one decision to take your eyes off the road, one decision to look up and text message and use your phone. Just one time when you're looking at the back of your car trying to pick something up, you're trying to multitask. One decision could literally change the course of your life. But I think the bigger thing is not just the course of your life. One decision could change the course of someone else's life. That our lives, I think over the past couple of years, we realize how much our lives and our decisions that we make are inextricably linked. We would want to believe that the decisions we make, the good ones, impact other people, and the bad ones, or the ones that we just feel like we want to do, don't impact anyone else. But that's not the world we live in. We are all connected. The only place where our decisions don't affect other people is a place where we are the only people on that earth. And since that doesn't exist, this is the one we live in. But I think this story is just chilling. And it just reminds me not just of just the figurative, but the literal slowing down, right? How often, many of us, it's hard for anyone to find themselves not in a situation where they have not given full due attention to every single decision they were making at every different moment. Now, I do recognize that driving under influence is a very, very heavy and very, very weighty decision that has some pretty serious and significant consequences. But I try not to separate myself that much when I think about just those singular decisions that you could make, those singular risks that could literally change the course of someone else's life. I mean, I think about these things. I think the takeaway that I have is, one, just take every single moment, every single second, every single decision I make that much more seriously, to not be in such a rush. But I also would say that it's not just that singular decision. I also am thinking about all those small decisions we make, those small decisions that put us in a position to be in a place where these, I think, more significant or more potential fatal decisions could actually take place. Was I just comfortable just always looking at my phone, and I was warned and warned and warned. But one day I do it again because I got so comfortable doing it. And next thing you know, I've run over somebody who has looked across the road unsuspecting, or I pass a red light or a stop sign when I was looking at something I should not have, or I found myself on the phone, or I'm trying to rearrange something in the back or grab something. All those little decisions. And I think for those of us who, again, are looking to live a good life and a fulfilling life and a godly life, I think it's not just about the singular decision. I think that'd be too much weight. There are serious decisions, but I think it's those smaller decisions we make every single day. Those things that we don't believe are consequential, those things where we were able to get away with them, that text messaging, that being on the phone, having our attentions, divided. And that's just the car, but let's think about other things. Right? There are decisions that you could make that it can impact the course of someone else's life that could hurt people. Right? And I think we've seen this from a public health perspective, decisions that could be made. I mean, but even people in private lives, decisions can be made. One decision to slip or one decision sexually, and your life could change, or you can impede, or you could impact the life or the health and well-being of someone else, of a loved one, right? Stepping out on a spouse or doing something, you could actually literally kill them, right? Because of decisions you made. And so I tend to not view these stories as opportunities to bring somebody up and use them as an example. Nah. I think more than anything else, it chilled me. One, because of the loss of life. Two, because as extreme and as tragic as the story is, it's a story that I think many of us, by the grace of God, have been spared from. That there are many decisions that should have put us in situations that could have essentially destroyed our lives or undermined the goals and things that we had, but we were spared. I think the good news that we receive is that in the same way that one decision could change the course of your life for the worst, one decision could change the course of your life for the better. I think if you're hearing this and you're somebody who is still figuring out where you stand with God, and still unsure, but recognize that everything this world has to offer seems too fleeting, that there must be something about this Jesus figure, something about the promise he gives of eternal life, something about being able to stand secure, approved, and not have to perform and live that. There's something about that that says, you know what? One decision could change the course of my life. And I believe that one decision for somebody listening to this or hearing this and watching this, that's the decision I would pray that you would make today. Definitely pray that you would make today, because though you will make that decision and you may not be able to change the consequences of poor decisions on this lifetime, ultimately, we know the end of the story is that all those things are redeemed. In the end, in eternity, our eternity set. The end of the story is already set. But we do have to take account for decisions we do make here. And I do think one of those decisions is one that could set your life, for the better. I also believe there's also power in the one decision that you can make. I think there's a power in the things that you say, your interactions you have with people every single day. That could literally change the course of not only your life, but someone else's life. That one decision to pick up the phone, that one decision to speak encouragement into someone, that one decision to do that event or do, that project or make or show up to this thing that you weren't unsure about. One thing said, one thing attended, one thing done could change the course of someone's life. And so I think there's two sides of this coin, and I don't want to see this as a wasted opportunity. My prayers, obviously, for the family of the young lady who had her life cut short so tragically. But also praying over our brother as well, Henry Ruggs, and praying God's peace over him. I don't think that you could ever take away that weight, at least that he has to carry. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But I also recognize that from a grace perspective, in many ways, spiritually, I found myself in that position and someone spared me. And so though he will probably have to live with the consequence of a decision on this side and he won't be able to shake it, I just wish him peace, and I wish resolution, and I also wish the family peace. But I also wish us wisdom and practical wisdom that can come from this, and recognizing that we should also slow down. We should recognize that it's not just those big singular decisions, but the little decisions that led up to the big decision that can change the course of our lives for better or for worse. But on the flip side, there are singular decisions that we can make that could completely change our lives forever. That decision to accept Christ, if you have not, but also the decisions to sow into those, to care for those, decision to impact the lives of others proactively can change the course of someone's life. That teacher that said that one thing that day that sparked hope. Many of you are doing things that you never thought you would do in your life now because of somebody doing that one thing or the combination of things. And so you never want to hear stories like this, but you certainly don't want to overlook the potential wisdom that can come from it. Again, God rest our late sister's soul who passed away, so her dog. And wishing God's peace and peace and resolution for our brother who is carrying the weight of his decisions. But I pray ultimately in the end, if he has not already come to know Jesus, or if he's desiring to, I pray that he would come to know him now. Y'all, grateful if you have received some wisdom from this conversation today. Please send a note, share it with somebody, or drop a note in the comments. But if you have not already subscribed to be a part of this family who is kind of just looking to live a good life, a godly life, please do. Make sure you do so. And also, if you listen to the podcast, make sure you put a nice little review so more and more people could reach out and hear about the things that we're doing over here. All right. Love you. Speak to you soon. Take care.